Tennessee. We don't need y'all to talk about us because we're going to talk about ourselves.
You guys out there watching, y'all are some sick people. You know that?
Real
Like what
sickos.
you guys are sick. You guys are tuning into Titans content right now. Like what is wrong? You guys need help? You need to go outside. The weather is amazing this time
It
of year in
is.
Tennessee. Pick up another hobby, like anything. But you guys should not be here. I will be very disappointed, Jake, if I see any views of this video. Because man, things have gone from bad to worse to possibly one of the worst seasons this franchise has ever had. And we've set the bar pretty low. We've had some really bad seasons, but this one, Jake, is it might be a contender. Man, Titans go up to Buffalo and get their doors beaten off, get the doors blown off,
Hey,
brakes
yeah, something
beaten
like
in.
that. Yeah,
Choose a metaphor.
just for getting your ass kicked. Like what
Yeah,
you pick it, it happened.
thank you. Yeah, it happened, and this was the worst one yet. 34-10, outscored 27-0 in the second half. More of the same, except worse this time in terms of getting ahead, looking competitive, and then just laying a goose egg in the second half. We have Mason Rudolph. I looked like a backup. There's some okay things out there, but this team just is not good. And then as a consequence, Jake, we have shipped off hardly knew ya fan favorite DeAndre Hopkins to the Kansas City Chiefs. I wish it wasn't the Chiefs. Why are we these teams signing the former Titans are killing me. The Ravens, well, that was a different situation than Hopkins. We directly, traded Hopkins to the Chiefs, and I'm tired of the Chiefs, dude. And I think that's going to be a great fit. I think he will see some good success and chemistry with Patrick Mahomes. He's exactly what they need, and he's got plenty of juice left in the tank, I think. And then hardly knew ya even more so in trading Ernest Jones to the Seattle Seahawks, who Rain kind of wheeled and dealed that. He flipped him for an even higher return than what we traded for, which is a bit amusing. But Ernest Jones was great. I thought he was a fantastic pickup right before the season started. He's a great linebacker. I think Seattle will love him. I bet Seattle's kind of familiar with him, as Jones was playing for the Rams for a couple of years. So anyway, whatever. We're it's a fire sale here, Jake, in Nashville for for the rest of the season. I think Rand is mailing it in here. I don't know where to go. That's what happened. It's a Friday. We're getting ready to get absolutely shellacked by the Lions this Sunday. So how are you doing, Jake? What's up, man?
Okay. I'm doing okay, Justin. That was a great opener there. I really want to comment that the real sickos aren't the people watching this, Justin. It's me and you who have to get on here and talk about the same thing each week, all the time. And I guess, I the only real thing I have to comment about the Buffalo game is obviously same old song and dance. Justin, did you know the Titans have led or been tied at halftime in 5 out of 6 of their games?
Ooh, I didn't know that. That's an incredible
and
stat.
Fall flat on their face after halftime. Who was that on? Brian Callahan. That is on coaching specifically and only. The Titans have been competitive in every single game besides the Malik Willis Green Bay game, of course. But they've been competitive and in all of these games at halftime, if not leading. They've led in 4 and they were tied with the Colts, I believe, at halftime.
That's crazy.
That's disgusting. That is just disgusting. And you can't keep getting out coached and circled like this over and over and over again. Again, I feel like we've said it. The Titans have good players. They don't have a good team. That much is obvious. That is glaringly obvious. But they have good players, and they seem to come out with a little want to. And Mason Rudolph had the offense moving the ball. Josh Allen didn't touch the ball at all. The time of possession at halftime was stark difference. The Bills had only run, a handful of offensive plays, I think. And just
he had like 5 passing yards in the first quarter or something. We had them.
It was perfect. It was the formula.
It was like an interesting, okay. The Titans have come out to play, and we looked pretty good on both sides of the ball there in the first quarter. And I think in the second quarter, things started to come off a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're right. Yeah.
Much like in Titans coaching fashion, just inability to make any kind of adjustments, inability to change what you're doing at all in response to what is happening to you in game. It just makes me lose faith in Brian Callahan all that much more. Again, we talked about it last week. We're 5 games in. Talked about it this week. We're 6 games in. I get it. And this roster isn't great. It's not constructed all that great. There's good players on it, but they do not play as a team. And who do you point the finger right now? Brian Callahan, because the Titans yet again, halftime lead. Obviously 10 points isn't going to win you a football game, and it sure as hell didn't in this one. The Titans were up 10-0, Justin. They're up 10-0 in the second quarter. And 34 straight points, no desire, no want to after the Bills kind of hop back into that game, and it was over. And I don't know if you saw the clip. It's been an all-time week for clips, Justin, in terms of just destroying all morale that any Titans fan had left on planet Earth. If you had any at this point, God bless you, but it was lost after just this week of Twitter shitstorms. And so the first one I'm going to address, Justin, is Peter Skoronski. Not what you want to hear from a young franchise offensive lineman. He talked about the Titans team and the Titans offense specifically responding to adversity and just being like, well, here we go again. And this is just how today is going to go. And listen, Peter, I know that you probably think that. And I know that the team and the locker room thinks that. You cannot say that out loud. You cannot make that known. So you're just willingly admitting to the media that, when things get tough for this team and, we start giving up sacks and it's just looking ugly, we just roll over and die. Yeah, I think that much is obvious on Sundays, Justin, but that really just not what you want to hear from Peter Skoronski, second-year guy who you drafted high, who you hope is a fixture of this offensive line for years to come. Not what you want to hear. That, again, reflects poorly on coaching. This locker room culture is terrible. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to be there. And, Justin, this is only our 7th game. The 7th, we're not even halfway through the season, and you have guys just giving up. And that really sucks. I mean, as a fan, what are you supposed to do? Do you want me to tune in on Sunday and watch this murder in Detroit? No, because if you face a little bit of adversity, you're going to roll over. You said it yourself. And that is brutal. But anyways, that's kind of my, tail end of my Buffalo game discourse. And you mentioned the trades, obviously. DeAndre Hopkins, Ernest Jones. Here's 2 more clips this week, Justin. DeAndre Hopkins in his introductory press conference. I haven't played meaningful football in a couple of years. Again, we know you don't have to say it. If you don't have anything nice to say, you shouldn't say anything at all.
I know.
And then Ernest Jones as well in his introductory press conference. I was surprised to get traded, but it's nice to be on a team with the pieces to win now. God.
Ouch,
I mean, every single time I opened Reddit, Twitter, whatever, you name it, it was some kind of catastrophic. And then, and everybody loves Derrick Henry now, too. He's an MVP candidate. Oh, my God, 2,000 yards for the Ravens, Hall of Famer, signed, sealed, delivered. And that is where I might bring in some positivity, Justin, because if
let's talk about Derrick Henry.
If we just keep ping-ponging back and forth about the Titans, this is just not going to be fun at all for anyone. You guys know you can watch any of the previous 5 or 6 videos and get the same exact thing. So, Justin, we have an update to the Derrick Henry Hall of Fame resume. He has
Okay.
moved into 30th all time in rushing yards. He surpassed a few guys, got up to that number 30 mark, and now start climbing that ladder. I don't think he'll catch Barry Sanders, or no, who has it? Emmitt Smith. He's not going to catch
Yeah.
Emmitt Smith, and nobody will ever, I don't think. But if there's anybody to do it, it might be Derrick Henry. Justin, in the next game on Sunday, I believe, barring anything catastrophic, if he continues this pace, I mean, he's on pace for 2,000 yards again. That's unbelievable. If he
Crazy. Yeah.
continues this pace, he will easily scoot up and pass 3 more guys, Justin. And those
Yeah.
guys to move into 27th all time would be Marshawn Lynch, Tiki Barber, and you knew it, Eddie George. And that would move him into all-time rushing Titans leader in terms of career yardage. Unbelievable.
Yep.
And, here we are spending our time on Titans Tube talking about a Ravens player, but this is a guy who transcends it all,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So,
Dude, I can't lie. I tune into Ravens games now. I look to see when the Ravens are playing, and I want to tune in and watch Derrick Henry, and I can't believe that, as the Ravens are one of the most hated rivals of this franchise. But dude, you're totally right. It's such a pleasure to see him run, dude. Who did they play? I can't remember. He busted off that 81-yard run. I wanted him to go. Tampa Bay. Man, yeah, the 81-yard run, dude. I was hyped, dude. I wanted to see him take it the distance. Got cut down, and then he had a couple of other really big runs. But dude, he looks so good. He looks like he has so much left in the tank. It's crazy how fast he can hit the holes. And it's been a while since we've seen holes being opened up for Henry behind the at the line of scrimmage, and to see him just burst through there just with a full head of steam. He looks like he's hasn't really regressed whatsoever. He only, and sometimes when I watch him, it depends on the play. If everything kind of works out and everything is blocked for him, and he hits through the hole. I mean, he looks like he hasn't really lost a step at all. He looks as good as ever, which is crazy to think about. And I think much has been made. It does seem like a lot of people are paying attention to Derrick Henry more now because he plays for a more notable franchise and all that. But I've seen a lot being made of his diet routine, and he spends $250,000 or $750,000. I can't remember what the number was, but an absurd amount of body maintenance, money on body maintenance, to help, and like his eating and diet of he doesn't eat until the evenings. I don't know. I guess he has it figured out to a science, to where he's just a freaking machine out there on Sundays. But yeah, dude, he absolutely, takes this extremely seriously. He's all in, it seems like, and it's just such a joy to continue watching him dominate the NFL defenses. And what a dangerous combo with him and Lamar. So we'll see what they can do this year. A couple former Titans, DeAndre Hopkins versus Derrick Henry in the playoffs. We might be seeing a lot of that.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, dude, I love him. I love him.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not? Sorry to cut you off at the end there, but it's unbelievable, and that speaks to why I mentioned it last week. I'm getting more and more. I use the term radicalized in terms of sell the team. Is this an Amy Adams Strunk problem? I feel like this is an organizational issue because, Justin, if I went back and told you back in time, I went and told young Justin, the Titans will be so bad and so just unworthy of your time in the year 2024. You'll be so distraught. You will be looking up the Baltimore Ravens schedule and tuning into their games, because they now have one of the star players of Titans lore. You would say there's no shot. And
no shot.
Here we are.
12-year-old. If I was 12, 14-year-old me would be sick to his stomach and be like, there's no way. I hate this team with every fiber of my being. I mean, I remember the year Steve McNair played for the Ravens, and they had a great season. I think they had a 13-3 year. But it was more, I think, Jamal Lewis in the run game, and McNair was more of a complimentary on top of that. So it was a little different. I don't remember tuning in a whole lot to the Ravens games when that happened, but this one is more, Derrick Henry is a direct impact and a huge piece of that offense, and dominating in ways that he's done with us before. And so, yeah, it's different, and and I am eager and excited to see what he does every Sunday.
Yeah.
It's wild. Hey, you know what? And we can keep talking about Derrick Henry as long as you want. But another former Titan
It's the
that I
happiest
intentionally
episode
sought
we've had
out.
in a long time.
I know, I'm excited. This is fun. Another Titan on Sunday that I intentionally, a friend texted me that Jaden Daniels has gone down with injury, and who's coming in? Marcus Mariota. And boom, I'm looking up the game, and I sit that game up, and I start watching our old boy Marcus Mariota, and he was dealing, dude. So happy for Mariota to get in the game. He threw for like 200 yards, a couple touchdowns, took care of the ball, ran a few times, and man, it's all these former Titans having success. I mean,
it's just been
what's Kevin
brutal...
Byard doing? Kevin Byard's probably having a Pro Bowl year with the Bears. He's probably looking great. Who else? Who else is out there that's just probably balling that they used to play for us? I don't know.
AJ Brown is having a good year.
Oh yeah, AJ Brown caught another 40-yard touchdown pass.
Ryan Tannehill's probably got some good beach highlights, some fishing highlights in his retirement, waiting for somebody to pick up the phone. But yeah, dude, that was a good Derrick Henry Hall of Fame check-in. If he continues on this pace, stays healthy the rest of the year, I mean, he's going to be upper 20s, if not number 20 all-time leading rushing, with seemingly a lot left in the tank. But, I guess my biggest fear, Justin, as much as I am enjoying watching 22 run the football and have success, my biggest fear is the Ravens winning the Super Bowl, because Derrick Henry will play a big part in that game, and he will raise the Lombardi in the purple and black. And that is how people will forever remember him in terms of like the public eye. The public eye will remember him as a Raven if they win the Super Bowl. And that would just be the perfect final kick in the nuts to just I hate football. I love football, but I hate football, because
especially if he has like a playoff run, kind of similar to what he did for us in 2019, potentially winning a Super Bowl MVP, one of the ultimate accolades you can win as a player. That would kind of suck. And then what if he pulls like a Derek Mason and decides, I'll just retire as a Raven? I think I would never watch. I don't know what I would do. I haven't even gone that far. I don't want to put my mind there, but Derrick Henry should and always should be a Tennessee Titan. But yeah, I mean, if he goes on to have some crazy success, I'll be super happy for him. But it's just like, how dare you, Ravens? Why would you do this? They like exist to torture the Titans. I think that's what the Ravens' primary goal is. But I could see it, dude, with the tear that he is on. The dynamic duo between him and Jackson. Defenses have to be prepared for everything, and they look pretty unstoppable. They started out 0-2, and now they're 5-0 since then, beating some pretty good teams too, some playoff caliber teams. Gosh, are we Ravens tube now?
Oh my God, this is what this organization has done to us, Justin. This is what we talk about it all the time. The Jenga piece of AJ Brown trade, and everybody, also to go with the Twitter clips week that we've had, Justin, I don't know if you saw, tons of people were posting the AFC Championship game that, like, midway through the second quarter, Tannehill play action, throws the touchdown to Dennis Kelly. Titans are up 10 with 5 minutes left in the second quarter, and they're up 10 in the driver's seat to go to the Super Bowl. And I mean, that was, I know it was, 5 years ago now, if you go by NFL season calendar, which, is an eternity in the NFL. But the fact that we've gone from that, and then you see the Bengals game happen 2 years after that, and then the AJ Brown trade, the Jenga piece, and then it's just been an absolute horror show. It's been snowball, and it hasn't gotten any better at all. And it's just,
It can't be worse.
We talked about it last week.
I don't
It
know if
can't
we're
be
gonna.
worse, and there's no emotional tie to these players. You built such
Yeah.
a beautiful thing and product, and it was at its peak with that Dennis Kelly touchdown and the two subsequent division titles after that, and you built this beautiful team that Nashville was proud of, and the stadium was full and loud and rocking. And now, I mean, it's gonna be paper bags and sell the team signs, Justin, because
Uh,
it's just been it's been a snowball and an avalanche.
yeah. I don't know if we're gonna win another game. The Patriots could come in here
We
and
should
beat
lose
us.
every game. It would
Yeah.
behoove us to lose every game. The Patriots game is basically the game for the number one pick at this point.
Yeah. And we have Jacksonville too, but I don't think we're better than Jacksonville.
Mm-mm.
Trevor Lawrence is better than any QB that we have. And I don't know what we do in the draft either. Do we go after a quarterback? I mean, if we
Of
do
course,
get the
we'll
number
have
one
the
pick, do
number
we pick?
one. I said, of
Yeah.
course, we'll have the number one in a bad class, in a bad QB
Yeah.
class.
And the one quarterback that might work out, Deion Sanders' kid. Deion Sanders is probably going to pull some strings. He doesn't want to see his kid play for the Titans, a franchise like this. He wants to see his kid play for a well-run organization, and so
Absolutely.
he will probably have some pull and influence somehow. I don't know. I don't know if I want the drama of Deion and his kid over this franchise anyway. Just to have that cloud always hanging over the media storm that he's going to always demand. That might be something worth avoiding. But of course, if this
Shador.
Shador,
Yeah.
Shoida Sanders out there, he could turn out to be the real deal, and it would be worth all the baggage. But yeah, I don't know. Do we just pass on a quarterback again this year? Do we take a flyer on a flyer with the number one pick? Who else? Quinn Ewers? When you have Arch Manning right behind him, who's possibly going to be even better? I don't know. We're already talking about the draft, and it's still October.
It's week 8. It's week 8, Justin.
I don't know what you do with this team, dude. Dude, this is a first for this channel. The first season that we did Titans Tube was 2016. A year after the last Ken Whisenhunt year, but there was cause for hope. Mariota looked like a franchise quarterback. We had some exciting wins. We dropped 40 points on the Jags at home in a shootout. Mariota had an 87-yard touchdown run. We went down to New Orleans and beat the Saints and Drew Brees in overtime. I mean, there's very few wins there, but you had reason for hope because you thought you had. And at the time, I think we did really have our guy, our franchise quarterback. Yeah. We had the core there that was starting to form, but now, this is the first season of doing Titans Tube where it's just going to be a miserable losing season. So I don't know what to do with this channel, Jake, but just to continue to jump on and cope with you about this franchise. 1-5, dude. That is an ugly number to see next to your team. It's been a minute since we've had something like that.
We've stopped even picking the games, Justin. It's
yeah. Because I pick the Titans every single week as kind of tongue-in-cheek, but now there's just no getting around. I don't want to start not picking the Titans. That's just not in my nature, but I would definitely start picking against the Titans because it's just not – it's not even funny anymore. It's not reasonable. There's no chance, especially this upcoming game in Detroit. Our 6-0 record against the Lions was a fun 20 years while it lasted, but – they're about to unleash hell on us, and it's not going to be good.
And may God have mercy on our soul.
Yeah, I do have like plans kind of already lined up, so I don't even know if I'm tuning in to this game. I'll check in on the score, see how bad it is, and then of course I'll be checking in on Derrick Henry. Got to do that. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how bad it gets. So I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
I guess we had a nice little positive bump with Derrick Henry and the Ravens, but then I mentioned him winning the Super Bowl with the Ravens, and now we're just slumped back down, and we don't know where to go. We're talking draft. We're talking, Shador Sanders pulling an Eli Manning on the Titans franchise, and that would absolutely happen. I could very much see that happening. But all in all, Justin, here we are. We'll be there, in mid-December at the Bengals game, putting on a brave face. And it could be the worst season in Titans history. 2-14 is the mark to beat. And Justin, we very much could be a 1-win football team at the end of the road. We'll see what happens, and we'll see what kind of goes on. But we appreciate you sickos tuning in every single week for this punishment, and we will catch you in the next one. Do you have anything to take us to the barn, Justin?
Tighten up. Yeah, go Titans.
And that sets the record for most, worst tighten up ever recorded in Titans Tube history. Most, low energy, but it's all we got. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Tighten up, tighten down. Do what you want. Have a good fall, everybody. Enjoy the weather. We'll see you in the next one.
Happy Halloween. Yeah.